Hello teacher and friends, my name is Ngo Le Vy, and in this presentation, I'm going to talk about my midterm test or my unit plan for the Intel course 2017 instructed by Mr. Lê Nguyễn Như Anh. As you can see in this file, there will be 4 parts: the assessment, student sample, unit plan, and unit support. In the assessment, the students can find all of their assessment for their course, including course assessment self-reflection form, video coaching feedback form, and video rubric. Next, the student sample. Here, I provided a sample coaching video for students to access and have a look of their final project, how it should look like. Then, in the unit plan, I have my Intel unit plan for the unit called Clean Language in NLP Coaching Model. In unit support, students can find all of their supporting materials, including the slides, the homework, and the film and editing tutorial link for the YouTube video. Next, I'm going to talk about my unit plan for the unit called Clean Language in NLP Coaching Model. This unit will support students who want to become the future life coaching with very essential and important skills that are attending extensively, tune in for metaphors, and asking basic and specialized clean language questions. The subject area is focused on psychology and vocational education. Students must have finished NLP core course before enrolling in this course. During 10 weeks, students will have 1 class per week, 3 45-minute periods per class. As for the standards and the benchmarks, I use NLP Academic Standard for NLP Practitioner and Coaching Certification. As for the 21st century, I want to focus on 21st century skills. I want to focus on collaboration skills and professionalism, which are very important for students in order to succeed in the future. The main objective of this unit is to help students to understand the clean language concept, and furthermore, I want to help them to apply the clean language questions in practical context. As for their final project and final assessment, they will have to make a motion picture, a video, capturing their coaching session. The most important question to focus on this chapter I want to emphasize is how to use clean language to coach others and themselves to achieve more success in their life. For assessment timeline, there will be 3 phases. Before the project work begins, students will have to read the course assessment, self-reflection form, coaching feedback form, and then prepare for the question. And then during the course, students will be given the reflection form, coaching feedback form, and sample coaching session video, video editing tutorial, video rubric. And after the work is complete, students will have to present their video, and they will have the feedback from the peer and as well as from themselves. Here are some of the prerequisite skills and instructional procedures. Week 1, students will not come to class because they can prepare all they need by reading the materials given to them at home. And then in week 2, they start to learn about the introduction of clean language. Most of my lecture will focus on the activities in order to help students to create their own definition and to combine with their own experience together to have the more student-focused perspective and approaching in teaching. Rather than just give them the knowledge. So during from week 2 till week 5. Most of my lecture will base on this structure. Here, I will show you some example. First, it is for the Q&A section. It means students will have to prepare their work at home and then they raise questions in class. And then they will attend some lead-in activities. Normally, it will be 2 or 3 activities for each section. Then, students will start to get into the introduction, which means where they can get their lecture. Here, I'll give them some suggestive questions in order to encourage them to come up with their own answer rather than waiting for me to give them the knowledge. And after they combine my lecture, their research at home and experiences they have taken in class, they start to move on to the group practice, where they can apply all they learn into reality. After that, they'll come to the concluding part, which means I will revisit the concept of maybe clean language for week 1, the magic metaphor for week 3, or the specialized clean language for week 4 and 5. And then they will move to some home activities. Most of the practice for home activity are not compulsory, but students are suggested, highly recommended in order to finish these exercises in order to practice their skills. And then after week 5, students will have 2 weeks, week 6 and 7, in order to practice all they learned from week 2 to week 5, which means they will have to practice 12 coaching questions in together. After that, they will come to reflection, where they can get feedback from the friends as well as my feedback. And then at home, they have to practice more, and they have to choose a peer to practice with them and to prepare for the final project. They'll have week 8 off to prepare for their video. And they have to submit their video 24 hours before week 9 start. And in week 9 and 10, students will see their videos in class, and I'll give feedback, as well as their peers. They will give feedback, and the students can raise their voice in order to show their difficulties or maybe their perspective for their coaching session. And this is the materials, some materials and resources students require to have, and I myself require to have as well. I just want to emphasis on some video processing program that they have to prepare for their phone and maybe the iPad, because I'll later show them how to film and how to edit their video directly on their smartphone and their iPad. They don't have to use a very complicated program or anything. And the main book I use for this plan is The Clean Language by Sullivan and Wendy Sullivan and Judy Rees. For other supply students, I recommend to read Metaphors in Mind by Lawley and Tompkins. One special things for my resources is that I need class assistants, 3 class assistants to be exact, and they will help me to monitor the class and to support students during their group work. And that's all for my presentation, and thank you for listening. Have a very good day.